Rent increases are every New Yorker's worst nightmare. But since today's apartment is rent stabilized, this is about as close to a dream as you're gonna get. The views here are seriously impressive, and the building's got cool features like bike storage and laundry. And if you want to learn how and what it takes to get a great place like today's apartment, make sure you subscribe. Well, the train that we took to get here is not the closest one to the apartment, and that's because this apartment is a little bit off the beaten path on 25th Street and 9th Avenue. And since we're on 28th Street and Broadway, we've got to walk across town. The closest train to this apartment is actually the C and the E train over on 8th Avenue. And if you walk over to 7th Avenue, you can pick up the number 1 train, which is right here. This is pretty convenient. Right here on 26th Street and 8th Avenue, there is a grocery store. Ask anyone who lives in the city, having to walk block after block after block with bags of heavy groceries is not something that any New Yorker enjoys. But here that's not going to be a problem. And what's also not going to be a problem is finding fun things to do. And that's because right over here on 10th Avenue is the Highline Park. The Highline Park is pretty sweet. It's this raised elevated walkway where you can walk along Manhattan's west side. The views are pretty cool and you'll definitely want to check it out. And because there's a bunch of little cafes and stuff around here, if you want to go out, have a good time with some friends, go out to eat, your options are just steps away. Here we are at the building on the corner of 26th Street and 9th Avenue. And in case you're wondering, the coffee over here at this cafe is way better than it is at Dunkin' Donuts across the street. But they probably can't compete with these prices. $1 coffee. Now, this is just my opinion, but if you're gonna suffer through dollar coffee, you should probably just be making it yourself, which is what I do. Anyways, let's head upstairs and see the apartment. Now at first glance, it might not look like this is the largest apartment you've ever seen for this price. And although that's true, it's rent stabilized, which means that rent increases are gonna be fairly minimal if there even are any. And that's incredible, especially considering that we're in a modern building with all kinds of cool features. There's bike storage and laundry in the basement, and the rooftop here is really something. Right there are all the towers at Hudson Yards, and this view goes in 3 different directions. But the best view of all is on the east side of the building right here. Just look at that. Always love a good view of the Empire State Building. If your roof deck doesn't have that, I think it loses a few points. Now, what is nice is there are a few seating arrangements up here and a couple of tables, so if you want to come up here and hang out with some friends, you can definitely do that. But since it's not a massive roof deck, I'm gonna say that this is probably best used for sightseeing, and I don't think it matters what time of day it is. All of this has got to look awesome no matter what time you come up here. And all of that makes this a pretty unique rental opportunity. So let's check it out and see what you think. Right after coming in through the front door, there's this little area right here where you could put like a bench, which would be great for putting your shoes on before you leave for the day. And there's also the first of a few different closets that we've got here. And right here is the video intercom. The building doesn't have a doorman, but with this, you can be your own doorman. Continuing through this nice long hallway here, there is the bathroom and another closet right here next to the kitchen. This one's a little smaller. And then you kind of just walk into the living space, which is combined with the kitchen right here. And what's great about this is since it's a corner unit, we've got a great view, which gives us northern and western exposure. This area where the bed is 10 feet 5 inches by 9 feet 8 inches. And what's cool is there's room for an end table on this side and a small desk right over here on this side of the bed. Plus a workout bench and some weights right here. These are probably too heavy for me. And I'm gonna guess that this projector right here ends up getting aimed at this window when the blinds are down. And that's really smart because it means that you don't have to mount a TV in here and you can still watch movies. To me, this looks like a pretty efficient use of the space here. Now what we're gonna do is just walk right over there and check out the kitchen and see if we like the setup. Now over here in the kitchen is where things get kind of interesting. It's got a dishwasher, a medium-sized fridge, the oven's got 4 burners, and there's a nice large microwave. But this countertop right here is actually something that the tenant put in. I think that this makes a nice divider between where the kitchen appliances are and where the hallway is. And since you can fit a couple stools under it, it also doubles as a kitchen table. What's also great is that in addition to all these cabinets that you see up here, there's also this little nook right here where there's some wine bottles. And as you can see, there's also plenty of outlets. So plugging things in like blenders and coffee makers, not gonna be an issue whatsoever. Right here across from where the kitchen is, there's also a nice big closet, which I just opened and knocked over all the tenants' shoes. I just made a mess and I'm gonna have to fix this. I think I did a pretty good job, but this is actually the biggest closet in the apartment. And as you can see, clothing, shoes, whatever you want, just put it right in here. And I would say that overall, 3 closets is pretty good for a studio. And so far we're doing really well. Now what we're gonna do is head right down the hall here and check out the bathroom. And after we see it, we're gonna know if this place gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But don't give this video a thumbs down. If you like it, just give it a thumbs up. Nice. The bathroom in here is really big. Just look at how much room there is to move around. This is great. Again, most studios have sacrifices in the kitchen and in the bathroom, but here, I think we're doing pretty well because this bathroom has a full-size tub, a really big sink. Just look at all this counter space around it. And this mirror turns into a nice large medicine cabinet, but since someone lives here, we'll have to keep it closed for their privacy. Storage beneath the sink here is also pretty good. And because there's a vanity light right above the mirror, it's super easy to see what's going on. It's nice and bright. And I think this is a good bathroom. And if you are interested in a rent stabilized apartment in an awesome building, check out the video description because there's a link to this listing where you can get more information. And after you do that, check out one of these apartment tours right here and I'll see you in the next video.